Good afternoon on this Sunday. It is August 28th, 2022. Hope our crew is keeping you well and safe wherever you are in the world. Please make sure to hit that like button and share this across other platforms so we can let people know what's going on out at our star, our main star, and the effects it can have here on our planet. If you happen to be new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell in case we have any critical future updates. As we can see, folks, once again, we are living in a constant state of sea flux. Okay, so basically we're living in constant C flare, and we've been having some M flares over the past couple of days. This right here is our solar flares since, the 26th, and actually gets into the 25th a little bit. We've been look at all of these M flares that we've been having up here. Boom, 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 boom. Well, guess what? We're in the midst of one right now. It actually came out and peaked in here around 1610 UTC time. Is at M6.73. Oh, yep, that's the highest, I believe. Yep. 6.73 and started on its way back down, and then boop, it popped right back up again. So yeah, this has got a fat butt. However, it's not coming Earth. It's not Earth directed. I've actually already looked at it, and I'm going to go over that with you here as well. Now, once again, look at all of these flares. The sun is definitely waking up. We're going to take a look at it here in just a second. Alright folks, so we're going to come over here at spaceweatherpredictioncenter.noaa.gov. First one we were at was actually over here at spaceweatherlive.com. Now we're over here. We're actually going to take a peek here at what we've had going on. This right here, this is our north and south poles. This is the leftovers from the charged particles, the protons, basically riding down our gravitational line, okay, that connects us to the sun, okay, and it rode down the connection line, and it's lighting up north and south pole. So if you happen to be an aurora watcher, this would be a good time for you to go out. So here we're watching our flares, and you'll see it kind of blinking on and off. That's because it's actually leaving. So we've gone out of that. There it was one small little M or large C, and then right here we get into the M flare. Okay, so that's a pretty decent sized region. 1610 UTC. Boop. Yep, about 6 minutes. So there it is. Boy, that covered all of it. Man, that's a large chunk. I mean, look at how much of it covered. It covered all the way down towards the southern tip of South America, all the way up here into Canada, into Hudson Bay. And it kind of got over here just at the tips of Southern California as well. And so the majority of North America. That's a good chunk. And then she kind of calms back down a little bit. Now, actually, let me refresh this page real quick. It might give us a little more. Okay, quick refresh. This is where we were at, and this is where it was coming down, and then boop, popped right back up into it again. Pretty much covered all of the United States minus Alaska and Hawaii, and then got into Cuba, Central America, down here into South America again. So, and it's actually still on its way out. So yeah, definitely going to be a coronal mass ejection with this one, but it shouldn't be coming towards Earth. In fact, we'll come over here to CME. We'll actually come over here and look. We can see which direction it's going at. And it's actually going right off of that side. So luckily it's not coming towards us. These are the connection lines that I was telling you about, that we saw those protons coming down at the north and south pole. So these are the connection lines. When it fires off to the side, a lot of times it'll send it right down the connection line. Now if you see our connection line, it's not straight out like this. It kind of comes in like this, because remember, we're rotating around. So our connection line is going to be in a different location instead of straight on. Okay, if it was straight on, we would actually be out in this region. Okay, so remember, we're rotating around. So that's why when it comes off of this side, it rides down and it can get to us. And if we go over here and we check out the European Space Agency's model on Euphoria, it's not really showing the eruption, but we did take on some plasma today. It looks like we got about 36 to 37 centimeters cubed of plasma. This was today at 10:12 UTC time, so that would have been about 4 o'clock in the morning. Luckily I was in bed sleeping. So it does not show the most recent eruption, but I'm expecting them to have things up to date. Well, they're showing the most recent one, but not, excuse me, these guys are not. Enlil is showing the one going off the western limb, but they're not showing the two that had happened. There's actually one coming straight at us that no one else is reporting on. Why is it that some people don't report on it? It was a coronal mass ejection with no flare. And sometimes they miss that. Everybody's too busy looking for flares, and they're not looking for plasma ribbons being released, or even just straight coronal mass ejections. Let me show you. Coming back to spaceweatherlive.com, we're going to come to SDO 304. We're going to go to 48 hours of high cadence, 1024, which is some of the better things to see. Now, keep an eye on this region right here. We've got a direct Earth-facing coronal mass ejection coming right straight at us. Now, we're seeing all the fancy stuff over here, but watch over here, folks. You're going to see a coronal mass ejection. Right about 16 seconds, between 16 and 18, I believe it starts to lift off. Oh, come on, where are you at? There it is, boosh. There she goes, right there. Let me back that up here. Right there, boosh. That's coming right at us. Now, it's not major, but it's coming right at us. Nobody else is mentioning it. I don't understand why, but it's still coming. Now, we also have these guys right up, these two flares here that happened just earlier today. Should be popping any second if we haven't already missed it. Actually, if you notice, look at the chatter marks. It's like constant flare. There's a good one right there. So that must be the most recent one, and this hasn't been updated yet. Is for the second one. But if you also notice, this ribbon down here just dancing around. Look at this thing. There's lots of ribbon dancing, lots of popping, and then we had the one coming at us. So if you haven't heard it on anybody else, you heard it here first then, because I listen to other channels, I watch other channels, and I see what people are covering. And not a lot of people are covering that. I wonder why. Then watching here on the 193 angstroms of light, we'll also see the same thing. See the eruptions here, but watch here. Whoosh, look at that. That was a coronal mass ejection. Oh, you can see you can actually see a small coronal hole developing from that blast, but there was no flare. And then you can see it recovered itself. No flare whatsoever, just a coronal mass ejection. This is why I look at this closely, folks, because sometimes you got a CME or a plasma ribbon release and there's no flare. Now we saw that one there. That was a good solar tsunami. Did you guys see that? It came all the way across the surface of the sun. Let's forward this up a little bit. Now watch, this thing's going to explode and you're going to see a ripple going across the surface of the sun. Watch this. Whoosh, you see that? Yeah, that's another solar tsunami. Woof. But I don't think we're going to get any of that. Some of that might have blasted towards the coronal hole here, which the solar winds will affect us, so it could blend in and we could get a little bit of it, but we'll see. I also happened to go over and check seeds, and guess what? They do not have all the correct data. It's not up to date at all. So we're actually going to start here with stereo ahead, LASCO C2, and LASCO C3. First thing we're going to start off with is stereo ahead. We're going to get on it, and then we are going to zoom in on it. And we're going to watch what happens here. Now this is the one from the 27th I showed you guys. This was from yesterday. We've got some nice round object right here. You can see it here and there. Whatever that object was, who knows? I'm not out there to watch with my own eyeballs. I just got to look at it through this red filter. And as we get into today, we've got another. Now this doesn't get the full thing. Now check this out. Notice how that just swells up. And it stays there for quite a while. I'm advancing. Look at the time. I mean, look at when it first showed up. Look at the time. 11:38 it showed up. And it doesn't start moving until 14:38. That's 3 hours, folks, before it actually started to move and create some form of a coronal mass ejection. And then what is this object right here? Whoa. Did it go this way or this way? Or did two things happen out of it? I don't know, but that's the final image of it right there. So that's pretty interesting. So as you can tell, this is not coming at us. We're more in this direction, but we're on the ecliptic. So we're on the the equatorial line, which is here, and this is going away from us. So this is not going to be coming at Earth. Looking at it, let's go see 2 here in red. This is the 28th. This is from today. I can back it up just a wee bit. And oh, looks like we got friends all over. Oh, look at that. There's one right there. How you doing, bud? But once again, we can see this thing going off to the side, not at Earth, nor the second one. But that's quite interesting, though. Looks like there's something there. That's kind of a funky one. I'm not gonna lie, but this is definitely going away from Earth. There is no halo associated with it. Halo you'd see the difference in the light that would kind of come around. So this is not going to be impacting us at all. And then checking it out on LASCO C3, we get the same thing. We'll actually move forward on this one quite rapidly. And that's the end of that one. So we should be all right. And then taking a look at our Italian model for our Schumann resonance. Looks like our electromagnetic field. It looks like we've got some activity, so that means we're going to have something going on the Schumann. Yep, there we go. Now, this right here, I would say could definitely be indicative of lightning strikes, okay, from thunderstorms, okay, because you see how it kind of it's up and down. Well, that would be a tail of lightning, you know, like one little spike, and then that would be like a thunderstorm and lightning storm coming in. So that's what that one would be. This one, it's possible, but then when you see it go straight up like that and then it stays solid, that's like, I'm thinking yesterday's was more indicative of CERN, and they just used the thunderstorm to take advantage and fire it up, if that makes sense. And then as the storm was leaving, they shut it back down. Does that make sense? This one here, it could be the same ordeal, because if you see the lightning storm was coming in, and then then they turned it on, and then they shut it off, and the lightning was still there, and then they turned it on again to try and hide what they're doing in the lightning storm. So that's what I think is going on. And then here are the colors down here associated with it, with chakras, which are pretty unique. By all means, come here and check it out yourself. Look at that. Holy cow, that was some good cleaning there, wasn't it? Look at that. That is super cool. Now our Russian model over in Tomsk, Russia is finally back on. You got a power of 17. Oh, look, comments. 1177. 2 11s and 77. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. You can't make this stuff up, folks. But we actually had a double blackout before this. In fact, I think if I scroll down, it'll actually show us the double blackout. No, actually they're not. The blackout actually started here on the 24th. We were actually having some blackouts, and they don't have this up to date yet, because today's the 28th, so it should be showing here, but they're not showing anything. Uh-oh, what are you guys doing, Russia? So as always, keep your eyes open, no fear, and remember that love is the only way forward. Solar Wolf out.